Hi guys, this is Farz and welcome back to Farzzology, and in this tutorial I'll show you how to edit and color grade a portrait. Actually this video is divided into two parts. The first part is about the retouching and the second part is about the color grading. So this is a complete package of portrait photo editing. So I hope you love this tutorial. Now let's get started. Okay, this is the picture I'm gonna work today. Let's zoom in and look at the skin. There is a little bit blemishes and scars, so we need to fix this. So let's focus on the harsh, the prominent one. So for this, create a new layer, and to remove this I'm using the spot healing brush tool. It's really easy to use, and make sure you activated the sample all layers. Okay, now it's really easy to use. Click and drag. So we'll look at the prominent one now. It's really easy to use. I love this tool. It's pretty simple, easy, and quick. Okay. I think, yeah, it's pretty done. Look at this before and after. This was the before and this is after. I think, yeah, it looks nice now. Okay, so this was the before and this is after. It's great. Okay, let's merge these two layers. Okay, now we'll apply the frequency separation method, and I will apply this in the easiest way. So let's see. Okay, first copy the layer by pressing Ctrl and J twice. So here you will find the two new layer, click the middle layer and name it low frequency. That's good. And click the top layer and rename it high frequency. That's perfect. In the high frequency layer, we will preserve the texture. Okay, I love the texture. I love skin texture. Okay, now hide the high frequency layer. Just click on this eye icon. That's perfect. Now click on the low frequency layer and now go to the filter and blur and select here Gaussian blur. Oh, it's too much. Okay, so start with 0.1 pixel and now gradually increase it. Okay, set a value where your skin looks flat, the blemishes are gone. So set a value exactly where the blemishes are gone. I think 16 is too much, right? Everything is blurred. So I am giving, let's try 12. It looks also too much. I think it looks pretty good. 8 or 9. Okay, I'm going with 8.5. I think it looks fine. The skin looks flat. Okay, now click OK. And now active the high frequency layer. Just click on the eye icon. That's perfect. And now activate the high frequency layer and then go to the image and select here apply image. And now select the source layer low frequency. That means the low frequency layer. That's good. And now change the blending mode to subtract, and look at this, it's totally black, nothing is visible. So here is scale 2 and offset 128. Now look at this, you can see the skin texture. That's perfect. Okay, now press OK. So I said it before, in the high frequency layer we will preserve the texture, and this is your texture. And now change the blending mode here to linear light. So it's done, but it seems like you haven't done anything, but believe me, the basic is done, the foundation is done. Now we will do the rest of the things. So for this, select the lasso tool and make a rough selection like this. Actually this is not the exact selection. Look at this, the edges are harsh cause the feather is 0. We don't want the harsh edges. So we need to apply a feather value, but we don't know what value is good for my picture. So we need to take the feather value So for this, just click on this select and mask option, and here I am choosing the view mode to overlay. You can choose anything here, and here you will find the feather option and increase it. This is too much, I think. Let's zoom in so you can see. This is I think 25 or 27. I think 25 looks good to me. So set a value like this where the edges look soft. It will depend on your image size and resolution. For me 25 works great. So now cancel it, and now Ctrl+D to deselect it, and now we will select the proper selection. So select the lasso tool, and can you remember the feather value? 25, right? So make sure you have remembered the feather value in the select and mask option. It's 25, so put here 25. That looks great. Okay, now make sure you have select the low frequency layer, and now make a selection like this. Okay, that's great. And now go to the filter and blur and select Gaussian blur. Okay, let's zoom in, and now see, start with 0.1 pixel and gradually increase it. It's too much. Look at this, the edges is a little bit blackish, so don't apply too much. Okay, I think, yeah, so this is 29.1. Let's see the before and after. This was the before, and this is after. I think I should apply 25 here. Yeah, 25 looks better. I think it's okay for me. So now press OK, and now press Ctrl and D to deselect. Look at the skin here. Wow. Let's see the before and after. This was the before, and this is after. It looks great. Okay, now make another selection, I think on this area. Avoid the edges and hairs. So look at this, look at the gap. So remember, wait, avoid the edges. Okay, now just apply the same Gaussian blur. So you need to press Alt plus Ctrl plus F. So let's see, it's done. Press Ctrl and D to deselect. Make another selection like this. Press Alt plus Ctrl plus F. It's done. Pretty simple. It's really easy. Alt plus Ctrl plus F. Done. Oops. So just select another one here and press Alt Ctrl and F. Done. It's pretty easy, right? Okay, now let's see the before and after. Look at this. This was the before and this is after. Let's zoom out little bit. Okay, now let's see. This was the before and this is after. It looks great and it's easy. Okay, now do the same thing on the body parts. Just select the area. And press Alt plus Ctrl plus F to repeat the same effect. Look at the texture. Oh, wow, it looks great. Look at the before and after. This was the before and this is after. It looks great. Okay, let's here some parts. I think this is fine. Let's apply here also. So now let's see. This was the before and this is after. I think on this area. Okay, let's zoom in and select the area. I think now it's fine. Look at this. This was the before and this is after. It's perfect. I love this. I love this method really. It doesn't hurt your texture, and I love the texture because I think texture resembles the personality. So it's maybe you don't like the texture, but I love the texture. Okay, now so now the retouching is done. Okay, now I want to brighten up the edges a little bit, the highlights a little bit. So create a new layer and pick a white soft brush. That's perfect. And opacity 20% and flow I think 10%, not more than 10%. I think this is fine. Okay, now change the blending mode to soft light and make your brush size smaller. Make sure hardness 0% and now just paint. I think flow should be 5%. Now paint. Okay, now create another layer and the same process, but we will pick the black color. Again, soft light and just paint. This will increase the shadows a little bit. So for this, just paint on the dark areas. I think opacity should be 10% a little bit. Actually, this is the easiest way to apply the dots and burn effect. So rename it. The first layer is dots and the second layer is burn. That's perfect. Okay, now let's zoom out and decrease the opacity a little bit. I think 50% looks good. So it's done. Let's see the before and after. This was the before and this is after. Look at the skin. It looks great. The retouching is done and now we will color grade this picture. So for this I will use camera raw filter for color grading. Okay, let's group all this retouching thing. So give a name retouching. I think yeah, it's fine. This was the before and this is after. It looks great. Okay, so for the color grading we need to merge all the layers into a single layer. So for this, shift plus control plus alter plus E and it's done. Now convert it to a smart object and open it with camera raw filter. Okay, now press Q to see the before and after view. It's pretty useful. That's good. Okay, now come back to the basics option and I want to increase the exposure. I think around plus 0.4 is fine. And I also want to increase the contrast. I think plus 33 looks good. And I want to decrease the highlights. Now look at this, look at the skin, it looks great. I think minus 60 or minus 59, I think around minus 60 looks good to me. And I want to increase the shadows, I want to bump up the shadows. I think around 55 looks good to me, or plus 60. I think plus 60 looks good. That's perfect. And I want to decrease the black. Actually it increased the blacks, so I'm giving minus 15 for black. That looks good. And now coming to the vibrance option, and I want to increase the vibrance. I love the colors, so I'm giving 18 for vibrance and 5 for saturation. Now it looks more colorful. That's perfect. And now coming to the curves, and we won't do any fancy thing, just pretty simple curves. We'll apply some matte effect here. Just click and drag like this. I think this is fine. And make another point in the shadows and increase the shadows a little bit. So I think yeah, it looks good. It increased the shadows, it increased the contrast a little bit. So, and now create another point. I think yeah, I think it looks good. And make another point. So I think yeah, it looks fine to me. I think I should increase it a little bit. Yeah, I think it looks nice to me now. Okay, and now come back to the detail option. You can add some sharpness to it. Plus 50 for sharpness. That's perfect. And I'm giving 1.5 for radius. And in the masking option, press and hold Alt and drag this. I think it's fine. So now you can see where the sharpness is applying. It's good to use. And now come into the noise reduction option, and I'm giving 25 for color noise reduction. It looks good. That's perfect. And now come into the color mixer option and come to the hue. Oh no, I'm giving plus 5 for orange. And plus 20 for yellows. Plus 15 for green. That looks good. Minus 12 for aquas. And here I am using plus 100 for purple. Look at the flowers, it looks good. It looks good to me. Okay. And now 25 for magenta. That's perfect. Now come into the saturation option. Minus 25 for orange. Minus 15 for yellow. And again minus 25 for green. And minus 10 for blues. And now come into the luminance option, and I am applying plus 2 for orange, plus 40 for yellow. Look at the hairs, it looks good. And minus 5 for green, 15 for aquas, I think yeah, minus 6 for purple. It looks good. And now come back to the split tuning option, and in the highlights I want to apply a little bit yellowish, reddish, orangish color. So I'm giving 55 for hue and 8 for saturation. That looks good. And in the shadows, just 15 for saturation and 0 for hue because I want to apply some reddish. it looks good, or I should decrease the saturation a little bit. I think 12 looks fine. And now coming to the effects option. If you want, you can add some vignette effect. I think I'm giving just a little -2. And now coming to the camera calibration option. And in the red primary, I'm giving +5 for hue and +10 for saturation. And for the green primary, I'm giving +15. And in the blue primary, I'm giving -4 for hue and -18 for saturation. And now look at the before and after. It looks more colorful, more sharper. Let's zoom in a little bit and see. Look at this. Look at the difference. It looks really good. Okay, now press OK when you are done. So look at this. This was the before and this is after. It looks great. Let's see the before and after overall. This was the before. Look at the skin, look at the color. And now this is after. Look at this, look at the flowers. It looks really beautiful. So the color grading and the retouching, the complete portrait package is done. I hope this video will help you, and if you love this video, hit the like button, leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe.